Alright, so Andor Season 2 just premiered a couple of days ago, and I finally got the time to sit down and watch the first 3 episodes of Season 2. Still think it's super crazy that they're not only premiering 3 episodes to start, but they are doing 3 episodes every week, every Tuesday, when the drop happens, and even cooler that each of those 3 episodes takes place within its respective year, leading up to the time period in which Rogue One takes place. So yeah, as I said, I finally had some time to sit down, watch, and digest those episodes, and I'm going to get into a quick review on them. And I'm going to try to keep this as short and as sweet as possible, because these first 3 episodes were nothing too crazy. I really enjoyed them, but it was kind of more of a slow-paced build-up for what is to come in these next several episodes, laying the groundwork more so. So my general thoughts about the first 3 episodes is, again, I really enjoyed them. I thought, per Andor standards and per Rogue One standards, if you want to throw that in there too, it was beautifully shot, well written, the music was good, or should I say the original score was good. There were a couple songs in there that are doing that weird thing in Star Wars now where it's like a modern synth pop song or something, and it just doesn't really fit the vibe or the scene, and it doesn't really fit in the Star Wars universe, to be quite frank. But that is really one of my only gripes with these first 3 episodes, so just a little nitpick there. But again, the original score was great. It did well building tense moments, came in at the right times, and yeah, shot well, acted well. Everything is still up to par where we left off in Season 1. Now, the story here is a little odd, and I'm not sure how they're going to do the story throughout this season. We're going to kind of have to see when this next batch of episodes comes out, because I can kind of only assume that they're going to be little mini subsections of Andor's life and the rebellion, but will they kind of correlate with one another? So does Andor taking this TIE fighter have anything to do with what we're going to see in episodes 4 through 6? Or is this kind of going to run like a Clone Wars style thing where it's a different mission every week leading up to what we know happens in Rogue One? I hope it is the first option that I threw out there, that eventually everything we see in these episodes is going to make sense when the time comes to the finale of Andor, but maybe not. So I'm going to hold off on my like super deep grill on this. The story was good. I thought it was a little, and I hate to say filler, because there's nothing really to fill. This is the beginning of the season. It's a little fillery, unfortunately. I didn't like a lot of the storyline regarding this weird offshoot group of rebels that fight each other and are really wimpy and whiny most of the time because they don't have a leader. I understood why Andor was there, and it went wrong, but it should have sped up quicker. I don't think this should have been one of the central focuses of the first 3 episodes of the season, where, again, to be quite frank, in this season, I thought was just going to be jam-packed to the walls every episode, because they are telling 4 years worth of story, I want to say, in a single season of television, and 1 year per every 3 episodes. So having Andor land on this planet to meet somebody, to take the TIE fighter for, I don't think we even were told the reason why he has the TIE fighter. I might have missed that, but plan goes wrong, and now he's stuck on this planet until the last like 10 minutes of episode 3 with these like kind of scummy rebels that don't get along. My least favorite character in these first 3 episodes, and maybe almost in all of Star Wars, is this little whiny dude with the long hair. I didn't catch a name, but anytime anybody said something, he had to chime in. It was like, well, I think we should try to figure out how to pilot this thing. No! She needs to know how to pilot it. Oh, I think we should go into No! The woods are filled with creatures. And he had like a annoying ass voice that I just couldn't. It's like every time he was on screen, I was waiting to cringe more. But maybe this is flying over my head, and this will actually have something to do with the storyline moving forward. But I think that they just needed a reason to get the ball rolling and kind of show what Andor was doing post Season 1. I hope he goes on a little bit more interesting and less tedious missions for the rest of the season, especially now that he's back with Bix and is able to be in contact with people again. We're going to get to the meat of the story and lead up to, that final peak of the rebellion before the events of Rogue One. Now, again, that is really my only gripe besides the music. I definitely think they should have started the season off with more of a bang, but there are seeds being planted for a really intense season. This is going to be still, I feel, a really action-packed season, a lot going on. We're going to see the true rise of the Empire. We saw that a bit in season 1, and of course we saw the plans get put into action in Rogue One. Now season 2 is really the final push to get the Empire to what we know it as, and we're seeing these meetings being held with Empire personnel. We're seeing a lot of fakeness within the rebellion. A lot of people are on edge. They don't know what the next move is, and us as viewers, it's weird because we know what's going to happen, but we don't know exactly what happened in the Star Wars timeline to get us to that point. I'm sure the Empire is going to pull some crazy stuff. They're already planning to just pummel this planet into the ground to get unlimited power, which one of the Empire personnel actually said that the Empire requires unlimited power to, perfectly encapsulate his vision of what the Empire could be, or something along the lines. So that was a cool little Easter egg. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, I think that we're going to get some cool, juicy Empire stuff. We're going to see what the Rebels are going to do. And I think as much as I did want these first 3 episodes to start with a bang, I'm not even mad at how they did it. Again, laying the groundwork for a really intense season with a lot of build-up coming over the next few episodes and over the next couple years in the Star Wars timeline. We're going to see some pivotal moments that gets the Empire to the status that we know them to be in the original trilogy. That is about all I have to say about, just the entirety of the 3 episodes. I do want to touch on something really quick that if you have made it to this point in the video, are probably wondering if I'm going to speak on. And yes, I am going to just really quickly talk about that scene in about the midway point of episode 3, a very hot button topic around the Star Wars community ever since it was leaked that this was going to occur. And the idea of it infuriated me. I didn't feel as if that should be shown in Star Wars for several reasons. I didn't think it was fitting, and just the idea of it turned me off because that is such a heinous act to be depicted, let alone in a Star Wars project. Obviously, there are films and television episodes that have depicted this crime that I've even seen. Do I think they should be in there? No, probably not, but also they were done in a very grounded sense. As unfortunate as it is, this thing does happen quite a bit in real life. So if you have, a movie about, there's this girl at a party and yada, 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 things go left, that's realistic. In Star Wars, I'm not saying it's not realistic or it doesn't happen in the galaxy, but if it does, I don't think we necessarily need to see it. Now, my opinion on this has kind of changed after seeing how it actually plays out on screen. Everybody that I watched, at least, was making this out to be that it was actually going to happen and that we were actually going to see this act being portrayed. Obviously not in gory detail, but, we would know exactly what's happening. How it actually played out is that there was an attempt at this act, which was still mildly disturbing to watch, but how it played out, I wasn't too mad at. The act of it kind of just seemed as if they were having a fight. They were just going against each other. Obviously, it started with the idea that this guy was not letting up and did want to, do something with Bix, and she wasn't having it. But I was honestly expecting the actual thing to happen, which thank God it didn't. The violence was, realistic. It was gritty. It kind of showed that the Empire is ruthless, which I liked, but yes, it was kind of a hard watch to watch a girl just get basically abused like that, dragged around, hit with objects. She ended up winning, which was great. But yeah, a hard watch, definitely, but also not as crazy as people were making it out to seem. Only thing I really didn't like taking away from this scene was that she straight up, said the word that is rhymes with a small little purple fruit, and my channel will get destroyed if I actually say it. She just poked her head around the corner. He tried to, it felt very out of place. And yes, while he did attempt to do that to her, I don't think it needed to be shouted from the rooftops. Obviously, make it known. He attacked me. No, I'm not coming out. It just felt very shoehorned that they wanted to put that word in there, which is okay if you're trying to draw awareness to it, but it didn't give me that vibe. I didn't feel moved or changed by that line. It felt very out of place. Even hearing that word in a Star Wars sense was a little off-putting, but it happened. It's over, and I'm glad it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, now that I'm done talking about that, that is my thoughts on Andor Season 2, Episodes 1 through 3. I'm really looking forward to what comes next. Obviously, we are going to have some juicy stuff coming up, and I can't wait for next Tuesday and the following couple Tuesdays to see how they wrap this story up. And that is all I've got for now. I want to know what you guys thought about the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. Also, let me know if I missed anything. I didn't touch on anything. The episodes kind of clicked together really well, so it felt like I just kind of watched one quick little movie. So I definitely forgot a few moments or details, but I'm sure you will let me know in the comments, again, along with how you liked the first 3 episodes. Did you like them? Why or why not? Also, while you're at it, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And of course, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.